The grizzly lurked outside the small, flimsy tent as the two young lovers carelessly made out with enigmatic vigor. The silhouette of the two could be seen from outside the tent as the moonlight illuminated, ironically, the Madison campground of Yellowstone National Park. The bear's eyes glowed in the night, and it took in one last huff of the fine aroma, filling its lungs with the smell of the young woman's bleeding reproductive orifice. Drool oozed from the creature's gaping jaws as it slowly and cautiously approached the two excitable young adults. What's up, guys? Iceman here. So this story is about a very unfortunate young couple, and it took place in Yellowstone National Park in 2011. What's really spine-chilling about this tale is the fact that it seems the bear was attracted to the woman because it could smell the fact that it was her time of the month, if you know what I mean. I know that many of you have speculated that bears could be attracted to such things, and it seems as though this could be one of those instances. It's also said that sharks can sense when a human female is going through that time of the month as well, but I really don't know how true that is, but it just seems to add up nonetheless. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below if you think this is a thing. But first off, I'd like to thank you all for your support on this channel, and if you will, like this video, subscribe to the page, and hit the bell so you're notified next time I post a video. And if you want to support me further, you can become a channel member or a patron. Links in the description below. So let's get into this chilling tale. Madison Fisher was a beautiful and vibrant young woman, inside and out. She possessed dark brown hair, large hazel eyes, and a white, pasty skin that would shy away from the sun. She loved to ride horses and take care of animals. She attended a Christian high school and then went on to attend a private university in Wyoming in pursuit of a degree in social work. It was there that she met her first and last boyfriend, Chad Herring. She was only 22 years old at the time of her gruesome and merciless death. Madison and Chad both loved the outdoors and got to know each other during various hiking adventures throughout the area in which they lived. Madison, a native of Wisconsin, was awestruck the first time she saw a grizzly bear. It was just the previous summer. Her and Chad took a trip out to Brooks Falls in Katmai National Park, Alaska. Chad was willing to supply their trip with some of his private student loan money, and Madison was in awe as she watched the grizzlies catch salmon as they attempted to jump up the falls during mating season. She was awestruck with how the great grizzlies would grab hold of the large fish and tear them apart while they were still alive, peeling off their flesh and slurping down large hunks of skin, bone, and meat all at once. Almost an eerie foreshadowing of what was to come of Madison Fisher. Madison Campground, elevation 6,800 feet, sits about 14 miles east from the town of West Yellowstone and 16 miles north of Old Faithful. Nearby, the Gibbon and Firehole rivers join to form the Madison River. In early summer, meadows teem with wildflowers and bison. In September and October, you can often hear bugling elk. It was here where Madison and Chad would often camp as a means of enjoying nature and enjoying one another's company without the worry to abide by the strict rules in terms of public affection the private school they attended would impose on students. Madison and Chad used this as an opportunity to get intimate with one another, and it was later discovered that Madison and Chad would most notably go tent camping together when she was menstrual bleeding, as she assured Chad that intimacy during this time of her cycle would not lead to pregnancy. It was a cold, hazy October night when this vicious attack occurred. It was around midnight, after Chad had a few beers in him, and Madison was about to straddle the young man when the nightmare struck. The bear edged closer and closer to the tent. There was no food buried or hanging in a tree. The couple knew how to be bear aware and would often only camp for one single night and go out to dinner before entering the campsite. The creature took notice to a small pit dug only 50 feet from the tent. It foraged through the dirt and dug up a few used tampons that it decided to eat. It could hear the sounds of excitement and laughter coming from the tent, the high-pitched laughs and screeches, all the more intriguing to the curious beast. Its eyes glowed in the night, and a steam emitted from its mouth as it breathed heavier and heavier, gazing at the two from the thin wall of the tent. "Did you hear something?" said Madison, as her excitement dissipated to concern. "No, it's nothing," said Chad in his drunken stupor, as he buried his face into Madison's bare chest. She shrieked as his prickly beard set into her smooth, soft skin. And this is when the bear had enough. It happened so fast, it was like time stood still, and the young adults couldn't react. In an instant, the monster lunged at the silhouette of the young woman through the tent, and it caved the tent on top of the three. The nightmare struck, and with only the thin layer of the tent between them, Madison's slender body was crushed by the 370-pound Bruin. It pulled back in shock over the mess it found itself in, taking half the tent with it, exposing Madison's mostly naked body, with Chad still buried in the tent remnants. Its eyes widened at the sight of the young woman, and for the first time, on her knees, she bore witness to the grizzled monster towering over her. It took one last massive huff, intaking gusts of the fine, fresh blood it's been scent hunting for, affirming to the creature that this oddity in front of him is surely the feast it's been anticipating. It hesitated and then lurched at her, tackling her to the ground. She moaned in horror as her bones crushed from the sheer power of the bear, and it began backpedaling, pulling her through the torn mess. Chad managed to clear the tent remnants from his body and saw the bear mangling his girlfriend and attempting to take her away. He lunged at it, grabbing it on both sides of its head, pulling at one of his ears, and it let out a loud, low bellow and stood up on its hind legs, ripping itself from Chad's grasp, towering over the young man. It took one massive swipe at the man's skull, and it felt like a 20-pound sledgehammer, and instantly Chad found himself on the ground with the side of his head pounded into the dirt. Everything was hazy, and there was a loud, constant ring coming from his ears. He felt paralyzed or stunned as he helplessly lay there, watching the creature come back down on all fours and begin playing with the young woman's disabled body. It snorted and huffed as it licked her lightly covered center region, and then howled like a wolf as it wrapped its jaws around her upper thigh and began dragging her away. Madison's fingernails dug into the hard dirt as the bear pulled her away, leaving a trail of blood and fragments of fingernails behind her. Chad, minutes later, managed to get to his feet and pull up his jeans. A storm came in, with light rain and thunder, and flashes of lightning gracefully lit the campsite on occasion. He stumbled down the trail, making his way to the car. He couldn't imagine going after Madison. He saw the condition she was in, and how determined the bear was when it dragged her away. There was no chance he'd be of any help. No reason to surrender his life to the monster as well. He almost felt as though something was following him as he stumbled down the trail. He still had a ringing in his ears from the massive swipe he took across the face, and blood was dripping from his forehead and cheek. He felt concussed and couldn't think clearly. A few times, he stopped in his tracks, turned around and yelled into the darkness, but no response. He felt as though he was being followed. It felt like hours, but he managed to get back to his car and contact authorities. A search party scoured the area and couldn't find the corpse or a bear, and deemed it was too dangerous to continue searching throughout the night. The following day, Madison Fisher's mangled, half-eaten carcass was found. It was a horrifying end to the young, vibrant lady. Jeez, what do you guys think about that chilling tale? It's crazy how powerful a grizzly can be. I remember just recently I saw a video of a security guard getting swatted by a black bear. The bear somehow broke into the facility that the guy was guarding, and he approached the bear. And the bear, stood on its hind legs just for a moment and swatted him, and the guy just went flying across the floor. Fortunately, the bear didn't go after him after that, and I think it managed to escape the building. But bears possess so much power in just a single swipe. And to think that this was a grizzly that dragged Madison's carcass away. And what a horrifying thing that it is, of how they were just out there having a good time or whatever, and it had to come to that sort of nightmarish ending. I only hope that her pain was brief and the bear granted her a swift death. But nonetheless, let me know in the comments, what do you guys think about this story? And again, I appreciate every single one of you for your support on this channel. So if you will, like this video and stay tuned for more chilling tales from the Iceman.